niko na just two. Kwani?
Yeah.
Like you need to have friends who impact your life.
Amen.
You know?
Yes.
Yes. And that's who you are.
Oh.
Utashinda kunifanyia interview.
Hello people, welcome to the channel. Mzangila Senior here, and today tuko na Liz and I'm going to ask a few questions. First of all, I want to thank you for allowing me to do this.
Yeah.
Welcome to the channel. Of course, we deal with relationships whereby maybe people, of course, we are all struggling in one way or another.
Yeah.
And we'd love maybe to share some nuggets on, let's say, relationship, how we feel basically, generally. And ningependa first of all, maybe kama unazoongea kitu kidogo.
Yeah, greetings people, it's nice to be here. So what I can say about relationships are complicated.
Yeah.
Very, very complicated. But it depends which kind of friendship or rather relationship we need to talk about right now, because there are varieties of them.
Very true.
But I know relationships are complicated. Family relationships, spouses relationships, sibling relationships. So let's see which one we are going to talk about.
We're generally speaking about in terms of dating.
Pardon?
Dating, in terms of dating.
Yeah.
Because that's where our major focus is as a channel.
Yeah.
The way we feel towards the people we love and how we should maybe be able to act or even relate with those who we are in love with. And perhaps the biggest question for me is that because I'm a man and the way we see love or the way we behave is quite different, especially in different divides, that's both men and women. And maybe the challenge is understanding one another.
Yeah.
And it could maybe help whereby we want to understand one another. And one question I would love to, maybe from your own experience, where do you think that maybe men don't get it right when it comes to women?
Yeah, I think for men, the one thing that I'll say about men and women relationship, especially when you're talking about love relationships, romantic relationship, is that when you're coming into this woman's life, what are your intentions in their life? Because as we age from teenage towards upwards, you know, like you get to be in a place whereby you flirt and all these kinds of things. But then also in your 20s upwards, you start feeling like you want to get into a serious relationship.
Sure.
But then also because of age, some people want to do this because of peer pressure, and others want to be in serious relationships, and others because probably they've been lacking this in their family. You find a young man wanting to be in a relationship because he desires to have a female connection. Probably they never had a mother in their life or someone who they could connect with so well. So there are so many reasons that you put into it before you call it a relationship. But one thing I can tell men is that if you want to be with a woman for a long time, you really need to know that a woman evolves. A woman was not created to be constantly one person. If, for example, you meet me in my 20s and we need to do a life journey with you. Of course, in my 20s, I'm bubbly, I'm playing and all that. I'm very curvy, all these things that you want to see in a young woman. But then again, if you're going to be with me in my 30s, you need to understand that I'm evolving. So a man can never be able to understand a woman fully. But you need to know that this woman evolves. So allow your mind, your heart to evolve with her. That way you're going to love her better.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Which I think makes sense a lot because when we look at it, most relationships are going to get strained with the time because of the lack of understanding in that sense. But also, I think the reason being that also women don't communicate it better, because if men don't understand it, also it could be maybe they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And also maybe it would be better if also the woman says, you know, this and this happened.
Yeah.
Because let's say most men are not prepared for that. So that would be also a good thing. But then that's a good perspective. So I don't know if there are also other things that...
For me, I think... sorry for cutting you.
No problem.
For me, I think that it's not really about communication. Before you choose that you want to be with Liz, you must have hung out with me severally, and there's something about me that you like. Probably you love the fact that I make you laugh. You love my company. You love all these things. But for you to be able to propose a relationship with me, it's because you've seen me for a season. And women have many seasons, but 50% of their season can be ready within a month. You know, within 1 month, there's a season we don't even know ourselves. You know, there's a season that I want to be just bubbly, happy, enjoy, have fun, so energetic and all that. And then there are days that I'm so drained emotionally. There are things that are happening in my body that you just can't explain. And sometimes I just want to be alone and quiet. With this particular season, I think you as a man, I would just advise you to be in a position whereby you want to listen more. You want I just want someone to hold me. Because I'm going through things that I don't want to talk about. But this time you can show your affection through just being there for me, you know. And there are times that I want to talk a lot. Be a good listener. You know, be a good listener. And then there's some times that I know, like, I've met you through my health journey. And so there are times that I just want to eat something that you, as a special person to me, you feel like because Liz is on a fitness journey, she should not eat fries. But basically that's what I want. So we don't have to fight about it. You just need to know, okay, today we can do fries, but tomorrow we can work it out and do, probably it doesn't have to be French fries, it can be sweet potatoes fries, you know. It can be something much more healthier. But to know how to juggle into this with a woman is what matters. So how to communicate with this woman, it will only, you have to consider for the season that you've known her before you came into a relationship, get to understand her seasons. You understand? There are seasons that she just want to be emotional, comforted. There are seasons she just wants you to be a good listener. There are seasons that she just want to have fun and forget that there's the rest of the world, you know? Yeah, and when you understand your woman to this level, then you would say that it's not really about communication. It's about, today we wake up and it's sunny, tomorrow we wake up and it's rainy. But we don't stop living. Life goes on, you know? Yeah, and that's the same thing with a woman. So as much as she evolves, you can read a lot in a woman within a month. Before you propose to be close to her, just get to know her well, how her cycle goes, and then you'll know how to treat her. Yeah.
Well, that's debatable. I'm not disagreeing. But then we usually say, in a man's world, whereby we say it's very hard to understand a woman. So you can only try to just live with her. Because as you have said also, there are things that happen to you that you don't know what's going on. Also in the world of men, that's most of the time that's what happens. Like, you don't know what the hell is going on, you're just going through with it, you're just following whatever is coming.
You're going with the flow.
With the flow. And sometimes it's quite difficult because you don't know where you are going. Today you are with this person, tomorrow you are with this. What the hell is going on? But then you also spoke about something that maybe we also don't think about most of the time, that women evolve and change. And I was also thinking about from the men's perspective. Do you think men also evolve? Or they are just static, the way you met that man is going to be the same man that you met, or is also going to evolve? What do you think, or what have you experienced?
I think I would say this. In terms of relationship, men evolve today I'll meet a young man, but tomorrow, if this man is going to want to be in this relationship for the long term, then definitely he'll have to evolve with me. The fact is, today you meet me as a young lady, tomorrow you make me a mother. You know?
Yeah.
The Liz that was outgoing, the Liz that was would be lazy to do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Right now, she has quite a responsibility because she's a mother right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And also for you,
Yeah.
you were a young man by then.
Very true.
We were outgoing, we would spend things and all these things. But now, if we are a parent together again, as I'm evolving to be a mother, you also have to evolve. Men mostly evolve physically and psychologically. The fact that when you have a woman in your life, of course, they pamper you more than you used to be pampered alone.
Yeah.
You can be 1 GB right now, but next you will be 2 GB. You understand?
Depending on the woman I met.
Depending on the woman you met. And then also when, for some reason it happens with relationships. Probably you are not making right food choices, lifestyle choices and all these things. You understand? Some would also evolve in the way they dress. Probably used to be the kind of man who will just do shorts and vest and all that. But then now you're someone's spouse. You know, you see, and especially coming from a Christian family, you change with this, the way you dress as a man of a family. You understand? But also knowing that you have responsibility, now you're the head of the family, you're no longer the young man that you used to be. You know? So a man evolves, but for a man to evolve, it's easy to adjust with him. You know? These are things that comes with time and age. But for a woman, it comes a lot to do also with psychological, I don't want to say torture, but lack of a better word. A woman really gets affected so much psychologically with what happens to her. For example, when you're young and curvy and then you get a baby, and then things don't just go back together. Self-esteem is quite a big one. You understand? And you as a man, it's very important to reassure this woman all the time that she's still okay. You know, the soul is still okay, the inner person is still okay, the physical has changed, but it is what it is. Even when we grow old together, definitely we are not going to be the same way we meet, you know, at our 20s.
So I think you have gotten, you have been able to explain it a better way. And I think I've seen many things maybe I didn't know. Maybe now I would like maybe to go to something different, but then in the same line, whereby maybe in your experience in dating, do you find dating harder with time, or is it easier as you grow older?
Okay, one thing I've learned about dating with time, when in your 20s, it's easy to meet people. You understand? And because you're having fun, you just want company, peer pressure, and all those things. But when you're dating after your 20s, you're really looking forward to settle, you know, or rather into a long term. Of course, some people also look into a long-term relationship in their 20s, but probably in their 30s, other people are delayed. Other people, things happen. Like for me, my spouse is late, you know, and for all these reasons, you find yourself going back to the dating again. For me, I would say dating at this particular point of my age, you don't want to be single for the rest of your life, but you want to go back to dating. But there are so many people who have the same goals of dating as you do. And you know, like, there's not so much time to waste because I still have 2 kids that I'm taking care of. I would still look for that. I want companion, I want someone whom we can do the rest of our lives with. But right now, the men that I've seen, quite a number, and the stories that we talk with the ladies, of course, who are the same age as me, is that it's quite difficult right now. The reason it's difficult is because some men either are not serious because they are used to being single for so long, and at this particular age, they just still want games. They don't want to be into serious relationship and all these things. A woman of my age, you really know what you want, and that's what you're going for it. So if you meet a man who doesn't give you what you're looking for, there's no need of wasting time. And I think for me, when I see all these things that are happening out here with people trying relationships and not working, then I'm focusing myself on growing me, taking care of my kids and my health, you know. So I'll say dating at this particular time, also depending on your goals. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll repeat again, coming from a Christian family, very, you really, like, I'm not clubbing. I don't go to clubbing. There are some things that you don't do that other people find them boring. For me, I say you don't have to take alcohol for you to be high. You can still be very energetic and you don't take alcohol. So I don't need to do those other things. But yeah, there are people who are still going out to clubbings and all these things. And at this age, I feel like there are much more important things to do. I'll do special dates, I'll do dinner dates and these other things. And it's quite difficult to get into a dating scene right now. And also because there's so much to occupy my mind. If you don't see people, then you don't stay there like feeling lonely and all that. You find other things to keep you busy and life just go on. First of all, I'm choosing to love myself. If that person who loves me will come along, well and good. If they don't come, I didn't waste this time. I gave it to myself. You understand? Yeah.
Okay. Maybe perhaps the last question. Maybe in your dating life, of course, you have gone through much. And there are things maybe, if you knew them earlier, you would have made a different choice. And I do believe each one of us has those things, which they wish, like, I wish I knew this. I don't know if you have such a things, and if you'd like to share them.
Yeah, I think, wow. These things I've learned a lot through dating and relationships. So, and I keep on telling myself, these are things that I'll make sure I tell my kids. Because, for example, there are things that I discovered from my spouses, and I learned that if I was in the foot of my mom, I would have stopped before it went further. You understand? There are things that I've learned through this journey of dating that I would really want to protect my daughter from it. You understand? Such as you will find people who will tell you they've had relationships and they previously probably they were married, they have families and all that. Then they something happened, divorce and all that. But it's always very important to understand that particular part of a person before you get involved into their lives, because you might end up not getting yourself into quite a lot of trouble without understanding. You know why? Because if you find you are into a relationship and then you realize this someone already had a relationship that they never told you the truth about, then what else are they hiding? You know? And for that reason, there's so many struggles that come along. You realize there were kids that you were never told about, things that you're never told about. And so, first of all, it's important to date while you're mature. If you want to get into a serious relationship, be mature first. I will tell my daughter, go to school, finish your education, look for your money. At least after your mid-20s, then you know what you want. But when like mid-20s upwards, I would want to tell someone probably 28, 29, 30, that's when you get serious, because then your mind knows what you want into a relationship. But in your early 20s, you just don't really know. You feel happy to be loved, to be brought flowers, taken out and all this, but there's so much that will affect your future that you didn't get to ask in this new relationship that you started while you're young. But you know, when you're mature, you're able to put straight questions. Like I've told you, at this particular point in my life, I know what I want. You know, if you ask me that, Liz, I want to date you, and I'll ask you, why do you want a relationship with me? Where are we heading with this? You know, these are things sometimes you're not able to ask in your early age of dating, you understand? But yeah, I want to know, why are you doing this? Where are we heading with this? What's your plan? What's your goal? You know, so when you're a mature lady, then it's easy for you to know these things and where you want to go, and you're able to say no. A no should mean a no, and a yes should mean a yes. But unless you understand what you want, you'll not be able to say that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Maybe I said that was the last one, but then I've remembered the last one. What did you, maybe you assumed about marriage, since you have been married, what did you assume about marriage? But then when you got into marriage, you realized that it was totally different from what you...
I assumed about marriage, but...
when you got into marriage, you realized, oh, I don't know, this is like... This is like you are being schooled and
Yeah, I think I was brought up with my grandmother, and she brought me up in a very different way from Western, you know. So in Western, we are taught like you should be a submissive wife, you know, and this kind of things. And of course, I was very hardworking, but my grandmother taught me that even when you get married, no matter how hard you toil, everything you get, it should be put in the husband's hand. He's the head of the family. He should take care of everything. You understand? And so I paid a big price on this one. You understand? You work hard, you do things, and you allow him to run the family finances and all these things. You, like, in my head, I knew when you start family, this is the, like, you're going to go till the end, because my grandmother was married till her end time, you know. And so I felt like this is what she taught me. A man should take care of the family, the finances, everything, you know, even with the joint accounts, he's the one to run them and all these things, you know. And so when things get serious, when this man gets into just temptations of the world, you know, and he's the one who's holding the empire, you know, like if it doesn't hold your investments well and you're putting all your trust in him, remember your generation and you and everything you've worked for, you've put the trust in him, and then he messes up, you'll go down, all of you. You know, you'll go down, all of you, and you can live with this regret for a long time. You understand? And so I just feel like I would be able to teach my daughter differently. You know, it's important to know that a man is the head of the house, but there are some limits to some things. Also, it's important to use your head and know when a man he's human, you know, he's bound to fall, he's bound to make mistakes. Know when, like, have a good relationship and good communication whereby you're able to tell them, I think you're going on the wrong side here, we're going to fall, our ship is going to drown, you know. So it's very important for me to teach my daughters to have a great relationship with their spouses, so that they don't get to do the mistakes I did. Because, like, coming from Western, we were taught that when the man is the head, his word is final.
Okay. Wow. Well, I think that was a fruitful discussion, and I don't think the way now we date and the way people dated back then, there are so many differences. And the fact that we keep carrying on old age wisdom to new age sometimes keep, you know, putting us into cycles that don't work. And I think also it's good time that we learn that also modern problems require modern solutions. And also it's good to come to the table and also try to understand one another, because we are living quite different times. And I think that's the essence of our channel, that we are able to highlight such a things, to enlighten one another, so that at least, because